I think the Amazon is now a sort of a symbol, not only in Brazil, but everywhere in the world, about the future of our planet.
What we're doing now in the rainforest is to mess up the most complex system on Earth.
I think we should stop cutting down, the rainforest.
Trees were being cut as I was working. It was a very frightening experience. You would take a trail out in the morning, and on the way back, the forest would be gone along that trail. It was happening that quickly.
It's really a cry of shame. Big trees falling down every second.
Tropical governments look to hydroelectric projects to bring electricity to rural regions. Many dam projects are put in areas where there are tribal people who have to be moved, and these dams tend to flood huge areas of forest, killing wildlife and displacing people.
And people, real nice people, starving to death.
The products of the Amazon that have always been used by the Indians, those products could provide the basis for a population without destroying the forest.
People who live in the forest and know where the rubber trees are can actually make a living by tapping rubber trees that grow naturally.
Medical explorers will be able to find all kinds of things of value to humankind there.
There are medicines that come directly from Amazonian plants. Curare, for example, is used as a muscle relaxant in abdominal surgery.
There are dozens of products which can be harvested from the growing trees, and there are ways you could plant within the forest without cutting it down. And all we need is an expenditure on research into the non-destructive utilization of the tropics, and I think we could solve the problem.
It's a paradise that everyone on the surface of the earth should really be concerned about it.
Lush, green, good smells.
Well, the real rainforest, I think it would be very wet and damp and hot.
The Amazon is extremely rainy because, of course, it takes the precipitation from the Andes, and that flows downstream from there.
About 20% of all fresh water in the world is concentrated in the Amazon system.
The presence of trees actually helps create rain in the Amazon.
And then each section of the Amazon generates its own rainfall in the sense that the trees transpire moisture into the air, and that moisture forms clouds, so the whole thing's regenerative.
All the various forms of life there are interrelated. The monkeys in the trees shake the trees and drop the fruit down, and they have fruit-eating fish that actually eat the fruit, and then after they've eaten the fruit, the seeds pass through the fish and they're planted to plant a new fruit tree. We need those trees to provide oxygen for the earth, for all of us to breathe.
The loss of tropical forests is actually endangering coral reefs because as trees are cut, the roots that hold the soil back disappear. The soil goes downstream, and it's the silt that washes out into the coastal areas that's actually killing coral.
It's just one big global world in which we live, and no matter what happens, it has its impact on us right here.
Building the Amazon rainforest here at the National Zoo was a triumph of ingenuity to rebuild a rainforest in a temperate region. And we had to build air control systems to provide heat and moisture. We had to provide filtration systems for the large aquariums, so it's an incredibly complex system. When you destroy a rainforest, you can do it in hours. When you try to rebuild one in the temperate region, it takes all of our ingenuity and genius to do it.
My favorite Amazonian animal is the parrot.
Boa constrictors, sloth, anacondas.
Arrow poison frogs, bright colored little jewels that hop around.
Toucans, hummingbirds, macaws.
Howler monkeys, 4-foot earthworm, or a beautiful electric blue morpho butterfly.
In 2 acres of that area, we counted more than 500 species of trees.
Nothing grabs people more than proximity to animals and the beauty of plants.
The people who understand the Amazon best today are still probably the indigenous peoples.
There are in Brazil dozens of groups which have never been contacted, which have never been seen.
I think that those cultures are extremely fragile, just as some parts of the Amazon itself are fragile.
Don't contact them. Leave them alone. I think that's a good policy. Because as soon as we meet those indigenous people, they suffer. They die for just a common cold.
The world would be a poorer place without indigenous people, and we would be greatly impoverished without their knowledge.
I think what's really exciting about the Amazon is that, you're always finding something new. It's like it's a Christmas stocking that has no toe to it. And, you go back again and again and again, and you keep finding new things you've never seen before.
Juaninho.
Indian tribes from all over the Amazon came together for the first time ever to make a dramatic plea for an end to the destruction of the forest. Their gathering here at the Amazon town of Altamira received worldwide attention.
Vamos continuar com nossa luta. Vamos defender o nosso país. Vamos lutar. Vamos defender o nosso futuro. Muito obrigado.
The traditional enemies of the Kayapo, the Jivanti, also came in force.
Os caribenhos já mataram meus parentes. A luta vai até no fim. O Yanomami não tem medo de morrer. É por isso que nós estamos defendendo a floresta. A floresta não vai ser derrubada não, porque nós somos moradores do reserva. Porque nós preservar a floresta, o mato, os rios, os carapés, animais, os pássaros, e montanhas, lagos, e saúde.
Andes Mountains, melting snow and ice form thousands of small streams that mark the beginning of a long journey to the sea. Many will eventually combine to form our planet's mightiest river system and South America's vast rainforest. The 6,700-kilometer-long Amazon River is not the world's largest river, but it is the most powerful on Earth. It carries almost 1/5 of the world's fresh water to the sea, 10 times as much as the Mississippi. During its journey, the river exerts a powerful influence on its surroundings and is at the heart of the world's largest tract of tropical rainforest. The forest and river are so integrated that 1/3 of the water never reaches the sea, but cycles endlessly within the rainforest. Water taken up by trees evaporates only to fall in tropical storms, which in the rainy season can result in over 140 inches of rain. The river has followed the same course for almost 10 million years. During this period, a complex community of plants and animals has evolved to create the world's most dynamic biome. A biome is a community of living things. Vegetation that develops in a certain climate region and the animal life that has become adapted to it. Of the major biomes on Earth, the community with the greatest number of species is the tropical rainforest. Rainforests once covered much of our planet. For millions of years, they provided an optimal environment in which life could grow. In that environment, an astonishing number of species evolved. Today, the rainforests are much reduced. They are confined to areas near the equator, to parts of Malaysia, Central America, the Amazon basin of South America, the Congo basin of Africa, and some tropical islands. But as small as they are, modern rainforests still contain more species of plants and animals than any other biome on Earth. What factors make this abundance of life forms possible? One factor is water. In almost daily thunderstorms, more than 150 inches of rain falls every year. That's nearly 400 centimeters. Life here is adapted to the frequent rains. Leaves tend to be waxy and water repellent. Many leaves have pointed tips, which shed excess water. Another factor that makes the rainforest possible is brilliant tropical sunshine. Solar energy provides the power for the rainforest's lush growth. Together, water and sunshine produce the rainforest's year-round growing season that makes the abundance of life forms possible. Thousands of species grow there. Most of their branches grow at the top where leaves compete for sunlight. This makes many trees so top-heavy that they require buttress roots to support their weight in the shallow soil. Trees in a rainforest do not grow in stands or large concentrations of single species. Instead, the many species are mixed together. These trees create 4 distinct layers, which are found in every rainforest. These layers help explain the great diversity of life in the rainforest. Each layer provides a great many small, separate habitats for plants and animals. The topmost layer is called the emergent layer. Here, the crowns of a few tall trees rise above the rest of the forest. These trees are favorite nesting sites for eagles. Each rainforest has its own species of eagle. The emergent layer is also favored by Oripendulus. Their woven nests hang from trees like seed pods. Although life is plentiful in the emergent layer, it is teeming in the layer called the canopy, where treetops form an umbrella over the forest floor. Vines overgrow the treetops, reaching for light. Bromeliads overgrow both trees and vines. Bromeliads are epiphytes, or air plants. Epiphytes are not parasites. They do not take nourishment from trees. They put out aerial roots, which absorb water and dissolved minerals directly from humid air. The roots also collect leaf mold and debris, from which they take their nutrients. Bromeliads create tiny habitats for other living things. Small reptiles feed on them. Tree frogs lay eggs, hatch, mature, and die in tiny pools at the center of bromeliads. In the canopy where bromeliads live, millions of insects also live. Some species are found here and nowhere else on Earth. There are so many different insects in the canopy that as many as 950 species of beetle have been collected from just one tree. Not surprisingly, birds thrive on the insects of the canopy. 1/3 of all the world's bird species are found in rainforests. Most live in the canopy. Some, like hummingbirds, drink nectar. Many birds eat fruit that grows on canopy trees. Fruit-eating birds help the trees by dispersing their seeds around the rainforest. An unusual number of mammals has adapted to life in the treetops. The howler monkey eats tree fruit and flowers. The tree porcupine uses its tail to grip a branch. Troops of manga bay monkeys range through the canopy in search of food, while a South American sloth may live for weeks in a single tree. As night falls, other animals hunt for food in the canopy. This margay, a tree-living cat, has caught a rodent. A second one tries to get it. The two-toed anteater uses its sticky tongue to lap up ants. The kinkajou feeds mostly on fruits and seeds. Tree frogs thrive in the canopy's high humidity. Beneath the canopy is a third layer of the rainforest, called the understory. Here the treetops above cast deep shadows, which limit plant growth. Much of the vegetation consists of shorter trees. Many different species of insects live in the understory. The lowest layer of this biome is the forest floor. Plant life is sparse here because of the shade cast by trees. Forest floor animals often depend on fruits and seeds that fall from the trees. Rainforest fruits are often quite large, like this seed pod that an agouti is feeding on. Vegetation is thinner here. The only lush growth on the forest floor is along riverbanks. Here sunlight penetrates almost to the ground. Few mammals live on the forest floor. One of the largest is the South American tapir. It takes to the water to escape from tropical heat. The tapir's natural enemy is the jaguar, the largest carnivore in South America. Jaguars prefer to eat other mammals, but when large prey is not available, they catch and eat fish. The most important inhabitants of the forest floor are called decomposers. Decomposers break down the thin layer of forest debris into nutrients. They include tiny molds and fungi, and the insects who live among them. Some leaves are harvested by leafcutter ants before they become debris. The ants cut pieces out of the leaves and then carry them back to their nest. The leaves are not food for the ants, but for fungi the ants cultivate in their nest and then use for food. The fungi use the nutrients from the decomposing leaves for their growth. So the ants supply the fungi with food, and the ants use the fungi for food. Each depends on the other. Termites build elaborate nests on the forest floor. They are also decomposers. As they digest the wood of fallen trees, termites break down the wood's chemical structure and return nutrients to the rainforest. Fungi that grow in close association with living tree roots work with the roots to capture and recycle nutrients released by decay. This is an efficient system that recycles almost all the nutrients released as the bodies of plants and animals break down after death. This recycling process, while it sustains the lush vegetation of the rainforest, leaves few nutrients to enrich the soil. Cleared of trees, the land supports crops for only a few years. But as long as it remains undisturbed, the rainforest provides an irreplaceable genetic bank whose long-term value is incalculable.
The Amazon River is itself a dynamic and changing environment and has a profound effect on the character of the surrounding forest. During the rainy season, the Amazon basin is inundated by daily storms. The swollen headwaters empty into the already overflowing lower Amazon. For many local people, fish is an important source of protein. Using just a simple hook, local fishermen wait patiently for the migrating fish, like these catfish. The floodwater submerges great areas of rainforest. Water as deep as 30 feet in places, nearly 10 meters, engulfs whole trees for up to 9 months of the year. But life in the forest is well adapted to the seasonal flooding. Trees use the floodwater for seed and fruit dispersal. Fruit-eating fish have evolved that make use of the abundant food source. Fleshy fruits are eaten whole, and in return, the undigested seeds are scattered by the fish throughout the flooded forest. Tambaqui fish frequently feed on the seeds of the rubber tree. With its highly developed sense of smell, the fish easily locates the aromatic rubber tree, where it eats the seeds as they fall. Powerful teeth enable it to grind up the hard seed shell for the rich energy stored in the seed. Local fishermen know that tambaqui are attracted to these seeds and will often cast their nets around a rubber tree, returning later to haul in their catch. For parakeets, a partially submerged tree is a safe nesting site in the rainforest. Insects are driven upwards by the rising water, and food is abundant. The river itself is an excellent food source. Small fish are easy prey for diving cormorants. Cormorants will fish for up to an hour before they become too waterlogged. When they do catch a catfish, they must first break off its sharp spines before swallowing it head first. The largest predatory fish in the flooded forest is the piraraku. It thrives in the stagnant water where oxygen is scarce, managing to survive because it's an air breather. The fish gulps air every 10 to 15 minutes, giving it a distinct advantage over other fish that become inactive in the stagnant pools and lagoons. Rising water levels at the start of the rainy season triggers breeding pairs to nest under flooded vegetation. Predators take their toll. A caiman makes an easy meal of the hidden eggs. A close relative of the alligator, caimans can grow up to 10 feet in length. These gregarious reptiles feed on almost anything they can find. The anaconda ambushes its prey. An opportunistic carnivore, it is just as effective in the water as out, killing smaller prey with a quick bite and larger prey by constriction. Large beds of giant Queen Victoria water lilies are found in the flooded meadows. The jasina bird is adapted for life here. Its extended toes providing stability on the lush, floating vegetation. The dense mass of herbaceous plants that form the flooded meadows provides abundant food for grazers. Turtles are common here, and also the largest of the aquatic mammals of the Amazon, the manatee. The freshwater stingray is a remnant from an ancient age. Piranha fish are carnivorous, but only attack other fish. When one piranha attacks, that becomes the signal for others to join in. But in the feeding frenzy, one piranha is likely to become prey to the others if it doesn't keep out of the way of their slashing teeth. One of the most ancient fish of the Amazon is the arowana. It has evolved eyes that see both above and below the water. It hunts insects mainly on the surface of the water and even on low branches of the trees. The arowana fish's method of mouth brooding protects its young. Eggs hatch and develop in the mouth of the male, and then for several weeks the young fish use the father's mouth as a place of safety. Many terrestrial animals use the water both as a source of food and as an escape from predators. A sloth moves more quickly in water than it does in its more usual home in a tree. This tropical rainforest contains more species of plant and animal life than any other biome on Earth. It is a unique region whose existence depends on the floodwaters of the Amazon River. The river and rainforest represent a vast diversity of life forms, a genetic resource of global importance. This is Amazonia.